Grant Robertson.
Mr Speaker, there was a time when New Zealanders were proud of the Prime Minister. They respected the person occupying the job. One of the most common refrains I used to hear about Helen Clark was even that if you didn't agree with her or every policy that she put forward, you respected her. You respected her dedication, her commitment to New Zealand. The same was said of David Lange when he made New Zealanders proud at the Oxford Union. Goodness, they even used to say they respected Jim Bolger, even if he adopted the accent of the last person he talked to. But who do we have now as a Prime Minister, Mr Speaker? A grown man who repeatedly pulls on the hair of a cafe worker despite her telling him not to do it. That's right, Mr Speaker. Instead of a respected leader, we have the Parnell ponytail puller. Forever to be known for his tail-tugging, plait-pulling, weirdo ways. Not since John Key's political hero Rob Muldoon, in a tired and emotional state, called the gin and schnapps election in 1984, have we seen a Prime Minister being regarded with such disdain by the public at large. When I used to work for Prime Minister Helen Clark, there was always a conversation about whether she should have to wear a hairnet when she went to visit factories and so on. Now we've got workers in factories and offices around New Zealand who want to wear hairnets when John Key comes. It's a form of protection. They're asking for protection from their Prime Minister. And Amy Adams wanted us to learn about the international media. Well, don't think the disdain about John Key is limited to New Zealand. He has made it on the world stage. The New York Times, The Guardian, the Toronto Star, the Washington Post, CNN, the Hindustan Times, the Sydney Morning Herald, the list goes on. And the world doesn't just know about the Parnell ponytail puller's mane mauling. They also have been reminded about his mincing, handshaking and language mangling of years gone by. And then John Key decides that the way to get away with this is 2 bottles of JK's Pinot Noir. What a massive ego to decide that the best way for making up for being such a tail tugger is to give your own wine. To echo John Oliver, Mr Speaker, he's meant to be the Prime Minister, not a real housewife of Helensville. And how proud New Zealanders in the UK were to read in The Guardian of a psychologist's attempt to unravel the childish roots of John Key's behaviour. The psychologist made our chests burst with nationalistic pride when he said that John Key's behaviour may be an example of the psychological process of regression. The psychologist said, and I quote, "Regression can be thought of as malignant or benign. An example of benign regression would be an adult taking a teddy bear to bed with them. Has anyone asked Brona whether John Key has brought something small and furry to bed with him?" And I'm not talking about Moonbeam here. The psychologist went on to say that the less benign form of regressions included Uruguayan footballer Luis Suarez biting an opponent or Jeremy Clarkson punching a producer. Happy days for New Zealanders. Our Prime Minister, the Parnell ponytail puller, in the same breath as a soccer player with a biting fetish and a brawling TV buffoon. So proud we are. The Washington Post had it right, Mr Speaker, when they headlined their story, "New Zealand's ponytail-pulling Prime Minister becomes a national embarrassment." And that is the truth. This is a Prime Minister who's lost the plot, leading a government that has lost its way. Out of touch, out of ideas, and out for themselves. Once upon a time, Mr Speaker, the Prime Minister told us he was ambitious for New Zealand. Now he is just making us embarrassed for New Zealand. And let's not forget, Mr Speaker, that there is a serious side to this weird behaviour. A woman in a cafe simply trying to do her job being repeatedly harassed. She deserves respect from each and every one of her customers. From the most powerful man in the country, she deserves it just as much. And instead she got harassment and inappropriate behaviour again and again. The fact that the Parnell ponytail puller didn't even work that out and that he called it horsing around and that it wasn't his intention shows a major loss of moral compass. John Key warned against the arrogance of third-term governments, the danger of surprising behaviour. He could have added the risk to the reputation of the government that their leader is a creepy weirdo. This might not be the end of the road for John Key, but it is a very sure sign that his government and he have lost their way.
Honourable Hikia Parata.
Mr. Speaker, it's really rather sad and depressing